Antun's skin is in there.
You are free to step inside. Once you get in, there is no coming back. You will have to find another way out.
Excuse me. Lucas said it's not possible to come back. Am I really ready to go in? I'm going in. What is this place? It's like I entered into a hellish nightmare. And there's no going back now. Antun Fero Istarski. Antun Fero Istarski. How is this possible? I remember this painting from the orphanage. My mother, the only person who stood up for me. My mother. My father. He used to tell me I'm nothing but a sin, and called me God's degenerate. My brothers and sisters from the orphanage. Horrible souls deserve a horrible fate. I must be losing my mind. Mother, is that really you? My brothers and sisters from... My mother. Why am I seeing you?
It is time. I'm always with you.
The painting from the orphanage. How did it end up in this place?
You see what you want.
Lies. In the real painting, I was standing by your side, and there were no other children.
Your existence is changing. You have no family anymore, son. Follow me. I'll help you find your woman and child.
Mother? Kelly Sue Drayton.
I was waiting for you.
Demonic slave. Where is she? Where's my... No! Ah!
My back. It hurts so bad. I haven't walked so quickly since I was a first grader. I can see a white figure on the pier below. It must be a child. I'm not going there. I have to find Nikolai. Those shrubs look poisonous. I'm staying away from it. Goldin. I'm not climbing up that thing. It looks unstable. Besides, I have no reason to do it. It's empty, but I can see some fresh drops of blood in there. Disgusting. Niklas Hendel. All alone here? Where's everyone else? Where's your owner?
Come over here! Through the passage!
I should go inside that passage where the voice was heard. Ivan Goldin. Antun Ferro Istar.
The king says you are here to see that friend of yours.
I'm trying to find Nikolai, not a friend.
I don't know the man's name, but since we don't get many visitors, that must be him. If you find him, tell him he owes me a pack of matches. I had to light a lot of candles because of him.
Why? What happened?
When he got in here, all the lights in the lodge went out. I've never felt a stronger, more bone-chilling draft in my life.
Where did he go afterwards?
Certainly not back through the lobby, as the door was closed. He could only have gone in one direction, into the tower. And from there, who knows? This building is full of secret passageways.
What caused the draft?
I don't know. Something from the tower, I suppose. The king does not want to tell me. He's playing awfully coy about this.
Nikolai didn't cause the draft, then?
Yes, he did. He used the warden's walking stick to open the secret passage. This hallway leads to Mr. Golden's room, where your friend was headed. He caused the draft.
Could you go upstairs and check for him? I can wait in the lobby.
No, I've never been in this part of the lodge before. Never in the tower. And never in the warden's room. No way. He's your friend. You should go.
I already told you he's not my friend.
Whatever. You have no choice. The king is telling me you have to go in there. On one condition, though. I won't see him anymore. So you have to pay for his debt.
What would that be?
I'll give you a clue. What do I need to repel darkness in the lodge?
You need to stop believing in that king of yours. Turn to God instead.
I need something that makes fire. That's all. Pay for the debt, and I'll let you go upstairs.
Who is your king?
The king in yellow. He who opens passages.
Where is he?
Spiritually, everywhere. Physically, right now, in the lobby. And yellow.
A cat is your king?
He is everyone's king. He only chooses to appear as a cat. Do not deceive yourself in thinking he is merely a pet. He gets angry easily, and you don't want to get him angry.
Here, Nikolai's debt.
You may go into the tower now.
Where are you going?
Now that I have this matchbox, I have work to do.
Couldn't you at least wait here?
Sorry, sir. I wasn't supposed to even see the hallway. I'm sure that god of yours will help you get out of there.
Wait! I could have just left this town. Sometimes I don't understand myself. A man proudly seated in his king-sized chair, surrounded by cats. Could be someone important. A congress of felines. Some people worship them and think they are superior animals. Kelly Sue. This room appears empty, but the candles are still lit. The book's title is An Inhabitant of Sabor. I could be wrong, but there seems to be something reflective at the end of the hole. I'd need something long enough to reach it. A couple of books regarding the human mind, and a quill that was used on a piece of paper to draw. 7 symbols, all very different from one another. The round one could be an iteration of the accursed evil eye. Wooden twigs tied with tiny threads, or plant roots. 3 triangles tied in the middle, with another twig. This is beyond my interest of knowing. It must be witchcraft, or something to worship the devil. A dense fog rises above the lake, creeping inland. It's can't do it. It won't budge. There are no visible holes to pull it up with my fingers. There must be another way, possibly a hidden mechanism somewhere. Using one of these might help me to reach the end of that hole. The warden's secret passage. dense fog rises above the lake. It could be a trap, but I have no other choice. I have to descend.
It was a harrowing walk. There was no light. Every step I made was a danger. The child at the end of the pier surely must have seen Nikolai and the warden come out of here. I should ask. Hi, little one. Can I ask you some questions?
I'm not little one. I'm Anton.
Anton, have you seen anyone coming out of that tunnel?
I saw you.
That is good, but anyone before me?
2 men. One had the eyes of a dead man.
Where did they go?
They drove away with the boat. Disappeared into the fog.
Eyes of a dead man. Was he dead?
He was breathing. The warden dragged him.
Do you come here often?
Fishing. Yes,
So you know the warden?
of course. He is always good to me. Always gives me food. Says I have to gain weight.
You think he took the other man to the asylum?
No. He uses the boat only when meeting with the moon ghouls. They always go to the same place. It's on the other side of the lake.
How do you know about that place?
My mother Evelina told me all about it. Nothing else is in that direction.
What did she say about the place?
Klek. That is the name. When night falls, witches gather on that hill. They sing and dance in front of 3 white fingers. Mother says they once belonged to an evil giant.
Who belonged? The fingers or the witches?
Fingers! Witches come to Klek to call the demons from the mountain. They make and eat babies together.
What kind of woman tells stories like this to a child? You saw the moon ghouls?
More than once.
And they did nothing to you?
They could not. Dr. Hatur was taking them away with the boat.
Are they man or beast?
Both. Their whole body is yellow. They don't have faces. Their faces are shadows.
Isn't it dangerous to be out at this hour of night?
Day, night, it's all the same to me. The only thing that matters is to finally find my mother and father.
Where are they?
In the lake. Hiding from me.
Who told you that?
Evelina.
And now you are here fishing for your parents?
Yes, but they don't love my skin. Or maybe they can't smell it in the water of the lake. I don't know.
I have to go now.
What are you going to do?
Who could help me get to Klek?
You need a boat. You can't walk there. It is too far away. And you can't swim. Hali is home to my mother and father. They would be angry if you did.
So, where can I find a boat?
On my way here, I always pass by the old man. He has a boat. Arsen is his name. Just walk into the woods left of the lodge. His house is on a small island.
Take care, little one.
Take care, little priest. And if you see my mother and father, please tell them I'm waiting here.
I have no reason nor desire to go back into that lightless tunnel. Those shrubs look poisonous. I'm staying away from it. Which path should I take? An old boat. It's covered with a tarp. This drawing reminds me of an ichthys, a secret symbol of early Christians. I see pentagrams, and the letters V, M, I, and K. These are witch marks, carvings created to ward off evil spirits from the house. Arson?
Who is it?
It's Benedict, sir. Sorry to disturb you, but I've been told you could help me.
Who told you that?
A boy named Anton?
What do you want?
I need to get to the other side of the lake. It's important.
You can walk or swim.
How long would it take me to get to Klek on foot?
Click. Probably a day.
The lake doesn't look inviting to dip in, and it's cold.
Didn't you just say it's important? If it is, you can do it. Why would you want to visit that damned locality?
A man I'm trying to find could be there.
You strangers. Why even come to this town?
It wasn't my choice.
Either way, you are a captive now. We are all captives of this place. Imprisoned souls waiting for our savior.
Sir, with all due respect, this town needs a legion of exorcists to be saved.
It needs just one soul with pure faith. One man, one soul to free us all.
Is that boat over there yours?
What are you, Benedict?
What do you mean?
I don't know you. You don't live here. Who are you?
I am Benedict Dochnani. I serve God.
You are a priest.
A monk from Budapest.
Good. We shall continue this conversation then.
About the boat.
You can't have it.
Oh, I didn't mean... I've never used one. I thought that maybe you could go with me.
No! The boat is occupied and no one can use it. And even if it wasn't, I am too old and too weak to board it.
Occupied by what?
You have my permission to uncover the top.
Why don't you just tell me?
It's better if you see it with your own eyes.
Do you know anyone else who could lend me a boat?
No one goes to the lake. There are no other boats.
That's a lie. What about the boat at the lodge?
You don't want to find yourself on that one. It belongs to the asylum. I'm the only one with a boat. No other inhabitant has one. Why would they? There's nothing here, and it's dangerous.
What places do you recommend I visit while in town?
You don't get to explore this place. If it doesn't devour you first, then only by the grace of God did you escape its swallow. We are surrounded by Carcassa in every direction. The Udav Mountain above us, and the Henna River and Lake Holly lay dead below. No animals live in this valley, except for the damned crows. Nothing grows or breathes inside these waters. We see death everywhere.
People still live here. It amazes me.
This is a valley of righteous men and women. We may be scared, with one foot in our graves, but we never lose faith, and we never succumb to darkness. A day will come when the light will win.
What did last night's effigy symbolize?
You were there?
Unfortunately.
I never do. I don't like crowded places, but I could see the fire from here, and it was beautiful. We torch it every year on the day of our patron saint, Ivan Kotar. The giant symbolizes a member of the Saboran tribe.
Yesterday was October 28th. What happened on that day?
The day Ivan Kotar was murdered.
Murdered?
Yes, we celebrate, nay, glorify the final moment of Kotar's long sacrifice for our ancestors, and thus
Who murdered him?
decapitated by Vatican emissaries.
For what reason?
Accused of allying himself with the darkness from the mountain. It was such a horrible decision. Poor man gave his life for this town and its inhabitants, only to end up locked in his room and ultimately slain like an animal.
The more I hear about this town and its mysteries, I just can't believe it. What do you know about the moon ghouls?
They are everywhere. In the water, in the town, and the forest, on the mountain, and in the mala.
Mala? What is that?
It's what you strangers call fog. Hell, even some Qatarians call it that because they don't know, or don't want to accept the truth.
The moon ghouls are in the fog?
Mala is not what it seems to be. It is not fog. You feel any humidity? Have you noticed the ground?
It is completely dry.
Because Mala is not a mass of water particles.
What is Mala then?
The remains of dead Saborans, or as many prefer to call them, moon ghouls. They think if they don't pronounce the tribe's true name, that they will be safe, which is nothing but a fallacy.
Like I said and thought 100 times before, this place is doomed.
We just need one man, a savior, someone like our Ivan Kotar from the past.
Have you seen a female stranger lately?
No.
No? Without even giving it a thought first?
No one visits me except Ida, the souvenir shopkeeper. I am sure I saw no female strangers in years.
What do you do here?
Trying to stay alive for as long as possible.
I mean, what do you do for a living?
I sell fish.
That old camper across the bridge is yours?
Yes, it was home to my parents before they settled in Sveti Kotar. They were...
Wanderers?
I wanted to say fools. I loved them, but for God's sake, why choose this town to start a family?
We don't get to pick our parents,
And yet whatever they do, we never stop loving them.
Maybe it's not love. Maybe we are cursed the moment we are born.
You fish in the lake?
I never did. The waters are dead. Nothing grows or lives in them. Fish are sent to me every once in a while from other regions in Croatia. I have friends, mostly in Istria.
Did you know Jakov Prenger?
He was our priest and a good friend of mine.
I heard he disappeared.
On a full moon night, like many others in the past.
And that's it? No one knows what happened to him?
I'm afraid all we can do is pray for his soul.
Excuse me. Oh my God! I've never seen a wood so dark in color as this one. It's almost like coal. 2 bodies. 2 children. Long dead. Why the priest's robe and nun's habit? I don't want to look at those corpses anymore. It's me again. You keep the corpses of 2 children in your boat?
My father and mother were small people. Midgets, as some would say.
What are they doing in there?
Laying peacefully in their temporary grave.
A temporary grave?
They were recently exhumed, and I had to take care of them.
I don't understand. Who exhumed them?
Henry, the priest of Sveti Kotar, he banished me from the church, and so my parents had to move out from the town's graveyard. Soil outside the church walls is tainted. The boat was the safest place.
They were clergy?
No, I dressed them as such to protect their bodies. The moon ghouls eat flesh, and they don't care if it's warm or cold.
Why the massive cross on top?
To protect them from the moon ghouls. Faith is the only thing that wards them off, but not for long.
Was it torched? The wood is very dark.
I made it from the trees that grow behind my house. I would never torch a cross.
What sin have you committed to have been banished?
Son, we are all original sinners, waiting for redemption.
We are, but you did something to deserve it.
God knows that is not the truth. Listen, talk to Henry. Reason with him. He must unban me.
Why would I do that?
Because you need the boat. If Henry accepts, I could move my parents back into their grave and the boat would be free again.
It's an opportunity to fulfill Father Imre's wish as well. I'll see what I can do.
He's not an easy man to talk to, but maybe he'll be more reasonable with you, monk.
Where can I find his church?
The Church of Ivan Kotar. Go back through the square, find the police station, then follow the alley to your right. Just be sure not to stray into Kuga. Wicked, evil people wander the former school district. They have no soul and have lost all faith.
You have no intention of telling me what you did?
I don't know. One day, he just said we are not welcome anymore. You have to ask him.
Excuse me.
Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. It's man-made, in the form of a sacred shape. A black magic circle for rituals. That path seems to lead nowhere. All I see are rotten tree trunks and naturally formed mounds. Even a mere tree root looks evil in this place. I feel it will grab me at any moment. I should contemplate more about the... As if the trees are just waiting for me to pass by and close... It's a peculiar type of small, crawling tree. I guess the red color of the leaves has something to do with the fact that it's the end of October. A very weird and creepy form they have. It's like looking at a petrified herd of giant spiders. Dear God, those are corpses. Not that it gives me much comfort, but at first, I thought they were ghosts. Natural gallows. With their long, strong branches, these trees serve as a perfect opportunity for those who want to commit the mortal sin of suicide. I wish unto these poor souls eternal torment in the afterlife. The natural gallows of Sveti Kotar's valley. I wonder how many... I don't think it's locked, but rather blocked by something heavy on the floor inside.
They are placed in a way to form a strange triangle, like a sacred space for rituals. Each has 3 shallow holes on a flat top in a triangle formation. It looks very old, ancient, and so I wonder how could it resist the weather? Logs and grass rot very quickly. It's a very tall tree, and there seems to be something similar to a house in the treetop. It's inhabited by dozens, if not hundreds of crows? Damn scavengers. They are everywhere. Strange-looking rocks, like scars of a long-forgotten battle. I wonder what forces sculpted them to look the way they look now. I can see the belfry of the Church of Mary in the distance. The police are still there. I can see the belfry. The accursed Henna River, lifeless and noxious. Madam?
Hello.
You knew Yakov Prenger?
Our former priest. I knew who he was, but I never really had a chance to speak to him. Why?
I heard he went missing.
Many people still go missing, vanishing without trace, as if they never existed. I heard this about Yakov, too. Sorry I couldn't tell you more, but I really don't know anything else.
Do you know anyone who could lend me a boat?
There's only one man with a boat in this town, and his name is Arsen.
Are you completely sure? The lake is huge. There should be more of them.
It's Arsen or nothing. What do you need a boat for?
I need it to get to Klek.
Beware, Klek is on the list of forbidden places. You think Victoria is there?
Could be.
Then I wish you luck. Try talking to Arsen. I think he'll help you. Swimming or going on foot would be suicide.
Your last name is Lovnyak, right?
Not a hard guess. It's on the sign.
Melita is your mother?
She is... was. Why?
What happened to her?
We don't know. She just disappeared. Exactly 5 years ago yesterday.
Did she die or just go missing?
I remember it as if it were yesterday. We went to the church, prayed, wore the disciple dresses, scared some kids. So much fun and joy. A long time ago, she came up with this crazy thought. When I grow up, we will have a day only for us. Just the two of us, without father. And so, over the years, it became a tradition. Father was so jealous, but happy. We were all happy. Anyway, tired and feeling sick, I chose to go home that day, right before the effigy ritual.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked.
It's all right. On my way out of here, I turned around and she looked at me with those beautiful green eyes, and I remember seeing them change color. Her neck bent awkwardly, both eyeballs instantly became blood red, and I heard her screaming even if her mouth didn't open. We don't know what exactly happened to her, but since it was a full moon night, we just knew.
Forgive me, but... You didn't ask around if anyone saw something?
Father did, and the only information he managed to get, after all these years, is that she was last seen entering the Carcassa forest, alone.
So she wasn't actually taken away?
Of course she was. I don't believe what the police said. Why would she go into the forest on her own? She was terrified of it. It just doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Something is off here. Are you sure her eyes changed color?
Absolutely. Why?
You said they were blood red, right?
Correct.
The same color as the leaves on this tiny tree you have.
So?
Maybe in the moment you saw the blood red color of the leaves, your mind just thought it was her eyes.
No, Benedict. Her neck bent and her eyes turned blood red, and I heard her scream.
Memories can be deceitful.
I planted this tree after she went missing, because the color of its leaves reminded me of that day. It reminds me of her. And my guilt. Notice the vase. That's her. That's my mother's face. I recreated her entire head.
Surely a morbid way to remember a loved one. Excuse me.
Sure.
For some people, this stone is the only hope they have left. A mailbox? Not sure. It looks strange. Its ropes bear some resemblance to hangman's nooses. Makes sense for a town like this. I'm not going into the police station. I would risk being taken in for questioning, and they could be conspiring with Hatur. Ivan Kotar, born in 1159, died in 1218. It's locked. There's a time and place to talk to him. This is not one of them.
This door is off limits for you.
It's an embalmed priest. Decapitated. His head is laying on a golden plate.
The Vatican declared him a traitor, an ally of the evil forces. Can you imagine that?
It's an embalmed priest. His head is laying.
The Vatican.
Father Henry?
Henry Istrator, and you are?
Benedict.
A fellow man of the cloth, certainly.
What gave me away?
Your aura. And of course, the tiny crosses on your sleeves. You were saying your name?
Benedict Dochnani.
Ah, Victoria's brother. We finally meet. What can I do for you, Brother Benedict?
I came here to ask you about Arsen and your dispute with him.
Dispute? I don't want to talk about it. Not before I get comfortable with you. Let's talk about other things for now.
You met my sister?
Did I meet her? Who knows? Do I know of her? Yes, as every person, crow, and rat in this town.
But how do you know we are relatives?
I have infinite power, and am highly respected. When word spreads, it reaches my ears first.
I have a theory of what happened here, but I'd like to know more so that I can solidify it. You know much. Maybe you can help me.
I'm here for you, brother.
What can you tell me about the mayor of Sveti Kotar?
Ranko Merzel, a lurid creature, far worse than his father ever was. Corrupt, full of sin, and unscrupulous. Gullible as well. He never saw his death coming, even though he knew he was chased by it. I was called to bless his soul before the funeral. Not going to. The very thought of it sickens me.
Who was Ranko's father?
Fran Merzel. He and our former priest, Yakov, founded Marov Asylum.
I welcomed the decision, but not anymore. Things changed quickly, and the asylum mutated into the same thing it originally tried to uproot.
And what would that be?
Marov became an island of terror and death for the Catholic community, instead of being a shield that protects it. It was founded with the goal to heal the unfaithful ones, and more importantly, to identify, catch, and execute the Saborans. Now it's a place where our brothers and sisters go and never return from. Healthy individuals full of faith just vanish. Fran had his share of sins, but he founded Marov with sincere intentions to help the town. Little did he know at the time the evil seeds he had planted.
Ranko was chased by death?
Nermin, his brother, the worst of the Merzel family, worst of all men, an incarnation of evil. Although coming from a Catholic family, from the day of his birth it was clear there was something dreadfully wrong with him. I don't know him well, nobody does. But everyone knows about his deeds.
Chief Norden said he is a moon ghoul.
True, he is a Saboran. Some say even the current leader of their cult. He was once incarcerated in the asylum, but managed to escape. No one can find him anymore. I guess there is not enough will. It's not about the will to find Nermin. He's just a tiny shadow in a starless sky. People in this town dread things they cannot see or feel. The unknowable. They fear it because it is everywhere God is not.
You're talking about the moon ghouls now, right?
That is just a name for the weak. Call them by their true name, the Saborans. The Saborans are not unknowable. They are an ancient tribe that glorifies death, diseases, and pain. Cannibals who cultivate morbid rituals as part of their religion. Sekvra.
Sekvra? I've heard that name before, somewhere.
You heard it because there was a book of the same name, the original copy of which was lost in the 15th century.
Yes, it all happened during the Valais witch trials.
Dark times fell upon that place because of the book. It vanished with its author, a witch by the name of Jadwiga Mazrak. You can see the Saborans are not a complete mystery. Things we cannot possibly understand are, my brother, the forces and entities this tribe worships. Only madness and death await those who manage to understand. It is what happened to Ivan Kotar, after all. Let's leave this subject. I cannot possibly recount centuries of their history in the reasonable time I have now. Maybe one day you'll be able to read the pamphlet I've written on them. Maybe.
Tell me about the asylum's warden.
Hatur. As the head of the asylum, I know he is somehow involved in the conspiracy against the Catholics. I'm the only person in this town who openly criticizes him, the chief, and the mayor. In one way or another, they are all acting against God, and possibly fallen under the influence of the Saborans. What interests you about him?
My sister's husband went missing after visiting him at the lodge.
Nikolai. He was kidnapped. But I feel there is more you want to say.
Victoria met with Hatur last night. They talked, and I still can't understand what happened to her.
So I was right. This sheds new light on the warden and the tribe. Not so much on her.
You think my sister joined the tribe?
I do, although I don't know how. Have you seen any changes in her lately?
That is a question for her husband. After our father disappeared, I went into monkhood. Since then, I barely see her.
When things start to look bad, some people think it's God's fault. Instead of showing him more love, they turn away from him. They don't realize it is only then, when they decide to forget him, that they start to wither their own souls. Sometimes they don't just wither, but rot. Rot until it is too late to get off the path that leads to hell.
The warden is meeting with the Saborans. A boy told me.
What boy?
Anton. He saw them meeting more than once.
Our protege? I knew he had been sneaking out, just couldn't prove it.
He saw Hatur taking Nikolai away to a locality called Klek.
I've never visited that hill, but everyone knows what that place is. The boy could be right.
Victoria abandoned God. I can feel it in my heart. She did it. The same happens to our aunt. She abandoned God, turned her faith to strange beliefs, and experienced a dreadful death.
It doesn't matter what you feel and what I believe. You have to find the whole truth. It is your responsibility. Find your sister and the truth that is hiding with her. I would risk going to the stake if I had to choose whether she is guilty or not. This town has many possible sources of evil.
Where should I look for her?
Begin with Klek. You might find her there with your brother-in-law, hopefully still alive.
What other sources of evil?
Everyone, including those who impose the so-called law. Everyone could be evil, even those who claim to be faithful. Keep your eyes open.
What about your dispute with Arsen?
Where did you meet that fool?
He's my only chance to get across the lake, and
You need his boat to get to Klek. So why didn't he give it to you? He doesn't need it. He's dying due to that vampire of his.
his parents are inside the boat. Did you exhume them?
Of course I didn't. I ordered the gravekeeper to do it. Arsen and his family are not welcome here anymore. The man is not evil, merely a fool who let evil do upon him.
What vampire?
Didn't you talk to him?
I did.
And you didn't notice that hideous dark thing on his neck?
No.
That fool got himself a parasitic giant worm, a leech he named Hem.
That's disgusting. But what is the reason you banned him?
I'm telling you, it's Hem. That thing was born and found deep inside the Carcassa forest. It's evil.
Can't he just get rid of it?
Arsen believes Hem was sent to him from God. Can you believe it? He gave it a name and looks to it as his own child.
So what now? Anywhere else I could get a boat?
He is your only chance. And it seems like you are his only chance as well, if it's not too late.
What do you mean?
If he accepts to kill Hem, I promise I will think about reintegrating him and his family into our church again. But I need proof. I need to see Hem dead.
How do you expect him to kill the thing he sees as his own child?
That is the tricky part. I already tried to persuade him. Now it's your turn. If you succeed, you will get what you want.
You will just think about reintegrating him, or you will do it?
I'll do it.
Immediately after I give you a dead Hem.
I promise.
How come there's nothing in the Vatican's official archives about Sveti Kotar?
Because of Ivan Kotar. This town has an open dispute with the Vatican because of him. First, they sent emissaries to execute him. Then they denied the authorities to name this town in his honor. We did what was right, named him a patron saint. The Vatican is run by a mass of hypocrites.
It's the Holy See we are talking about here. There's nothing closer to God.
Nothing closer to God? Just because they said so centuries again? How can they ignore what Kotar did here? Maybe they are now aware of their own mistakes from the past, but have done absolutely nothing to mend them.
You cannot question their decisions. It's like questioning the Bible.
Brother, let's agree we don't agree and leave it there. We have other things to worry about right now.
I've never heard of a priest talking about the church in this way. Unacceptable. But this, along with other things I've learned until now, might be enough information for Father Imre. A man that goes by the name Jakov Prenger. Was he a former priest of this church?
He preceded me. Why?
I heard he went missing.
True. He was the warden of the asylum before Ranko became mayor. Then, one night, he just disappeared.
Any ideas what happened to him?
He was kidnapped by the Saborans and became their prey, the usual for this town. The new warden got him imprisoned because he knew too much? Or maybe that poor blind lady killed him because he couldn't love her the way she loved him. It's a mystery.
Was he a good warden?
Better than Hatur? Yes. Good? No. He was too soft and hesitant. We could have done so much more regarding the war against the Saborans.
Seems to me you're holding a grudge against him. Am I wrong?
We never liked each other. He was sent by the Vatican to take my place here. The Vatican, which for centuries never tried to contact anyone in this town, sends a man to take my seat? I could do nothing but step down. Yes, I hated him as much as I hate the Vatican. And I'm grateful to whoever made him disappear.
Excuse me.
Of course.
I have nothing to do in there. I'm sinless. I can see the school from here. I'm not going in. It's the district Arsen told me to stay away from. The street is a dead end that leads to the cemetery. I'm not comfortable going in a place like that without a good reason. It's me again. I talked to Henry about the dispute.
And? Is he going to remove the ban?
What is the reason he banned you in the first place?
I don't know.
Could you please step outside so I can see you better?
No. It's safer in here.
May I come in then?
You are not family.
Step outside, please.
We talked before and you didn't ask me that. Why is it so important now?
Henry gave me something for you. I want to see you under the light while giving it to you.
Henry is willing to unban you.
Is he? Really?
Yes, I will tell you all about our conversation, but you have to come outside.
I don't see the point, but if it's going to save my family... Now, what do you have to show me?
God, that leech thing on his neck is hideous. That is Hem. I never imagined a leech could get so big. Henry was right. The vampire thing is sucking the life out of this poor, naive man. I have to persuade him to give it to me. Arson, we have to talk about your child.
You stay away from him. Is this why you wanted me out here? Stay away.
Calm down. I'm not going to do anything to him, I promise.
What do you want then?
Where did you find Hem?
I didn't find him. He found me. Years ago, I helped a young detective with a case he was working on. He then showed gratitude by giving me a bucket full of leeches. And there he was, my little Hem. I'm so proud of him. He has grown much since that day. God bless that detective.
It was Detective Mostov?
I believe that was his name. Martin. Why?
Just curious. How did you help him?
We went on a tour of the lake. I showed him some places, but he was mostly interested in the island of the asylum.
Did he say why he was interested in the island?
Something about a runaway. I don't know.
Henry told me Hem was born in the Carcassa forest.
That doesn't mean he is evil. Henry thinks anything that grows or lives in that forest must be tainted.
And so out of all the leeches you had, you picked the exact one that became Hem.
He picked me. He crawled his way out of the bucket, moved onto my left hand, and then all the way up to my neck. His favorite spot, where he sleeps and eats.
How's your health?
Are you a doctor now?
I've noticed you have trouble breathing, and your skin has no color. Have you had this problem for a long time?
I don't know what you are talking about. I feel fine.
Didn't you say before you are too weak to board the boat?
The love of my child gives me strength and positivity. But I would feel better if I was allowed to attend masses again. And if my house would be blessed as it was before the ban.
I have an idea how we can solve your dispute with Henry.
I'm listening.
You have to give me Hem.
What? Forget it! Stay away!
Remember, I'm in the service of God. You have my word, I won't hurt your child.
He will die without my blood!
No, he won't, and you know that. How long do you think he can live without you? And be honest with me, it's your family at stake here.
Maybe just for one night.
This is the only way to get you absolved, but I need guidance from you.
What guidance?
And you have to keep our little secret to yourself.
I don't like this.
The plan is to find a leech similar to your Hem. For that to work, I'd need your guidance. Where can I find one?
Why do you need Hem then?
So I can compare him to his potential clone. Henry seems like a clever man, and surely he remembers Hem's appearance very well.
My dear child in the hands of a stranger. I can't do this.
Do you want to live?
If I die, Hem dies. I cannot let that happen.
As soon as I find his double, I will return Hem safely to you.
And then what?
I will bring the double to Henry, claiming it's Hem. All you will have to do from then on is hide Hem when you are near Henry.
You intend to lie to a man of God?
It's for a greater good. God will understand.
Your proposal seems like the only way out of this situation. My dear child, please forgive me. Do not fret. We'll meet again soon. Go now, in the hands of this monk. Farewell. I'll wait for you here. The house is lonely without you.
Don't be sad. You did what had to be done.
God bless him.
Where can I find his double?
I've never been inside the forest, but Ida told me once she found a place full of leeches. I believe it's where the detective found Hem. You must go through the wall of crosses and turn left at the crossroads. His brothers and sisters should be there, where Holly meets Hannah.
Hannah is the river?
It is. Keep him safe and get him back as soon as possible.
I will.
Let me say it again. Beware of the forest. It's easy to get lost in that malignant place.
What should I do now? Should I kill Hem? Or find his double and kill it instead? Whatever I decide, God will understand. Dark times require immoral acts. Excuse me.